Hey everyone, let me tell ya, there's nothing like the satisfaction of stepping out your back door and picking a ripe, juicy tomato warm from the sun. But getting there, that can be a whole other story. Between the pests, the diseases, and the plain old struggle to keep everything healthy, gardening can feel like an uphill battle sometimes. But what if I told you there's a way to work nature to make your garden thrive? That's where companion planting comes in. It's like giving your plants a team of buddies to help them out, naturally. So grab yourself a glass of iced tea, settle in, and let's get this garden growing. And don't forget to subscribe to Fred's No Frills videos for more gardening tips and tricks. Alright, let's start with the basics. What exactly companion planting? Well, it's as simple as it sounds. It's all about planting certain buddies together that just naturally get along. They help each other out, kinda like good neighbors. See, for centuries, folks have noticed that some plants just seem to thrive when they're grown near certain others. They might grow bigger, resist pests better, or even taste better. Take the Three Sisters planting method used by Native Americans for generations. They'd plant corn, beans, and squash together. The corn stalks acted like bean poles, the beans added nitrogen to the soil, and the squash leaves shaded the ground to keep the moisture in. Pretty smart, huh? That, my friends, is companion planting in action. Instead of treating your garden like a bunch of individual plants, you're creating a whole ecosystem, a community where everyone benefits. Just a little bit of know-how, and that's what I'm here for. So stick with me, and we'll get your garden looking like a well-oiled, plant-loving machine in no time. Okay, so we know companion planting works, but you might be wondering, it works. What's the science behind all this plant teamwork? Well, let me tell you, it's pretty darn fascinating. First off, we got pest control. Some plants, they're like little stink bomb factories, releasing smells that pesky insects just can't stand. Take marigolds, for example. They give off a compound called thiophene, and let me tell you, nematodes, those microscopic soil dwellers that love to munch on roots, they can't stand the stuff. Then there's the power of attraction, the good kind, that is. Certain flowers, like dill and alyssum, they're like magnets for beneficial insects. Think ladybugs and lacewings, the good guys that gobble up aphids like they're going out of style. Legumes like peas and beans, they've got a secret weapon, tiny bacteria living in their roots that pull nitrogen right out of the air and into the soil. Tall plants, they can act like living trellises for their climbing buddies, giving them the support they need to reach for the sky. And those big, broad leaves on your squash or pumpkin plants, they provide shade and help keep the soil moist for their neighbors, creating a perfect little microclimate. So you see, companion planting isn't just some old wives' tale. It's backed by real science. All right, enough with the theory. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to share some of my all-time favorite companion plant pairings that'll have your garden singing. First up, we got the classic trio, tomatoes, basil, and marigolds. This is one powerful posse you want on your side. Basil, it not only makes your tomatoes taste even more delicious, but it also helps repel those pesky whiteflies. And the marigolds, they're like the bouncers of the garden, keeping nematodes and aphids far, far away. Next, we got a rootin' tootin' duo, carrots and onions. Now onions, they're not just good for making you cry in the kitchen. They also release a strong scent that deters carrot flies, those little buggers that love to munch on carrot roots. And in return, the carrots help loosen up the soil, making it easier for those onion bulbs to grow nice and big. Now let's talk about cucumbers. They're notorious for attracting aphids, but fear not, we got a solution, nasturtiums. These cheerful flowers are like aphid magnets, drawing them away from your precious cukes. And to really give those cucumber beetles the boot, plant some radishes nearby. They're like the silent protectors of the cucumber patch. And for all you cabbage lovers out there, listen up. Dill is your new best friend. Not only does it attract beneficial wasps that prey on cabbage worms, but it also improves the flavor of your cabbage. Talk about a win-win. Now, just like in any good neighborhood, there are always going to be a few folks who just don't see eye to eye. And the same goes for plants. Some of them just don't play well together, and it's important to know who to keep apart. First on the no-fly list, beans and onions, or garlic. Now, I know we just talked about how great onions are for carrots, but when it comes to beans, they're bad news bears. Onions release a substance that can actually inhibit bean growth, so keep them far, far away from your bean patch. And while we're on the subject of bad neighbors, let's talk about tomatoes and corn. Both of these popular veggies are unfortunately susceptible to the same pesky critter, the tomato fruitworm, also known as the corn earworm. Plant them too close together, and you're just asking for trouble, giving those worms a feast and increasing the chances of infestation. Another duo to avoid is potatoes and tomatoes. Both are prone to blight and other similar diseases, and planting them near each other just increases the risk of spreading those pesky pathogens. And last but not least, we got the lone wolf of the garden, fennel. Fennel releases allelopathic chemicals, which basically means it wages chemical warfare on its neighbors, stunting their growth and making them miserable. Alright folks, now that we've covered the basics of companion planting, let's talk about how to put this knowledge into action and design a garden that's not only productive, but also a haven for beneficial insects and a testament to the power of nature. First things first, start with a goal. What are you hoping to achieve with your garden? Are you looking to maximize your yield of certain veggies, reduce your reliance on pesticides, attract more pollinators like bees and butterflies? Having a clear vision will help guide your plant choices. Once you know what you want to achieve, it's time to choose your anchor crops. These are the main veggies you want to focus on, the stars of your garden show. Think tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, whatever your heart and stomach desires. With your anchor crops in place, it's time to bring in the reinforcements, the companion plants. Refer back to the dynamic duos we discussed earlier and select companions that will address your specific needs. Need to deter pests from your tomatoes? Basil and marigolds to the rescue. Want to boost your bean production? Plant some nitrogen-fixing peas nearby. Now, when you're placing your plants, remember that space is key. Even though companion plants are all about teamwork, they still need their own room to breathe and grow. Overcrowding will lead to competition for resources and can actually do more harm than good. So, make sure to give each plant the space it needs to thrive. And finally, don't forget to rotate your crops every year. This helps prevent soil depletion and reduces the buildup of pests and diseases that are specific to certain plant families. Well, folks, there you have it. Companion planting. It's like unlocking a secret level of gardening where you work nature, not against it. And the best part, it's not nearly as complicated as it might seem. With a little planning and the right plant pairings, you'll be well on your way to a healthier, more productive garden, naturally. Remember, companion planting is all about creating a balanced ecosystem right there in your backyard. Fewer chemicals, fewer headaches, and way more satisfaction when you're harvesting those delicious homegrown veggies. If you found this video helpful, give it a big thumbs up and share it with your fellow gardening enthusiasts. And don't forget to subscribe to Fred's No Frills videos for more down-to-earth gardening tips, DIY projects, and all sorts of practical know-how. No fluff, just good old-fashioned advice to help you live a more self-sufficient life. Happy gardening!